My biggest insecurity has always been not being enough. Not interesting enough, not attractive enough, not lovable enough, not funny enough, not good enough. Growing up, I dealt with rejection constantly. It wasn't like a stranger to me. Like, you're the punchline to a joke that no one told you was coming. In the fraternity, we have these things called formals, which are essentially like mini proms at the end of at the end of each semester. And my first one was December 2013. I brought a date and she left me for another brother. It crushed me on the inside. I'm not gonna lie to you, crushed my ego. I told myself it was a fluke. Give yourself another opportunity. Maybe it's just this one person. The next year, December 2014, I tried it again. New date, new energy, new mindset. But this time, before we even left, my date didn't show up. She bailed last minute, and I felt invisible, unwanted, and I felt embarrassed in front of my entire fraternity. So what did I do? I drank. I joked my way through the pain, made fun of myself, and all I was trying to do was distract myself with alcohol. And at some point, I got way too drunk, and I tried to take another brother's date the same way the year before someone had took mine, but she had rejected me. And that's when I started drinking heavier, and I blacked out. My mentor, my big bro, he told me that night, sometime after that rejection, that I tried to hang myself with a belt off a shower curtain. Now, obviously that wouldn't have worked, but I mean, I don't even remember that. At that point in my life, I felt more liquid courage than sadness. So hearing that I try to take my life shocked me, especially because I would have just woke up dead. I didn't even know that that was a thought in my brain at that point. That night wasn't the end. It was the beginning. It was like a warning, but I didn't listen. I didn't want to believe alcohol was the issue, or I didn't want to believe that I had to stop drinking to address that kind of stuff. Maybe it was just a fluke. So I thought it was just bad luck, just me being unlovable to this one person, and I just kept drinking. Party after party, weekend after weekend. I told myself I could fix it. I would eventually learn how to charm my way out of a situation, eventually learn how to be accepted. But, charm only came when I was drunk. So you fast forward a couple different times, a couple different parties, charm is starting to work little by little, and you think it's okay, there's a reward to this, right? I'm making people laugh. I feel a little more confident. Then spring 2015 came around. It was a Vegas formal, and I brought somebody that I actually liked and I felt like I had built a connection with. And I learned that she used me just to get to the formal because she liked another brother, and I didn't want to give up. I was done giving up. So I kept drinking, thinking if I could just be fun enough or be cool enough, be funny enough, I could flip the script, right? But I blacked out again. And my mentor and another older brother told me that I wandered off alone and I passed out on a hotel bathroom floor. And they brought me back to my room. When I woke up, this part I remember, when I woke up, the first thing I asked was where she was. And they told me that she went off with another brother into his hotel room. And at that point, I tried to convince them to push me out of the window. I said, please, just let me die. That was when I knew this wasn't just heartbreak. It wasn't just alcohol. It was a cycle, and I was stuck inside of that cycle. I was trying to be good enough, trying to be chosen. I was drinking to cope with the pain of rejection, but also to become the person I thought somebody would finally want, or somebody would finally accept. And I didn't realize it until much later, but alcohol just wasn't helping. It was making the entire situation worse. I was trying to break free, but the thing I thought was saving me was actually keeping me trapped. Alcohol. I have always used music to vent, to get through something, to work through whatever I either had difficulty saying out loud or whatever the world said, hey, you can't talk about these things out loud. But when it came time to write about these moments in particular, the formals, the rejection, the blackouts, the suicide attempts, I just hit a wall because I didn't write anything back then. I don't have memories of these things. I had to get told these situations, and I just try to piece things together with what I could recollect. My cycle was I drank, I survived, I moved too fast to feel anything real in real time. So now, years later, I'm trying to write lyrics about emotions that I never fully processed. So I have to put myself back in the shoes of a guy who blacked out in a Vegas hotel, a Tahoe hotel, Reno hotel, and I can't even recognize that guy. That's what method writing became for this album. It's not just storytelling, but it's excavation, right? Like I'm digging up the old parts of myself that I never wanted to look at. I had to try to imagine what that version of me would say or feel in those moments, even though I don't feel that way currently. It's hard to speak for someone you spent years trying not to be. I spent the last 7 years not trying to be this person, so I had to dig, I had to excavate, and that's why I chose method writing to finish this project. That's the only way to give that kid the closure that he never got.
This is the room in which I'll be writing the album. I mean, man, it's a very beautiful room with a very beautiful view. I don't know like logistics of how I'm gonna do this, but long story short, I have to create an environment that like promotes the same kind of like isolated drinking mindset that I had back in the day. I'm going to need something that replicates alcohol. In this case, it's gonna be blueberry Burnett, so I'm gonna get some kind of blueberry drink. I need like cold pizza, so I'm gonna get the pizza and just have it. The trick is, how am I gonna replicate being drunk? And I thought about it on the drive here. I said to myself, the way I'm gonna replicate being drunk is by not sleeping. I'm gonna stay awake as much as possible, get as little sleep as possible. I have 6 songs to write, and I'm gonna try to write them all in one night. We'll see.
Marco uses his music as like a diary, and he's not afraid to talk about past experiences. And look, we're all friends. We all interact with each other. We have, great times, and there's also times that are not so good. Marco will talk about those in his music, and that can cause people to be a little self-conscious.
I gotta get my drink. It's kind of like, tastes like a little bit like the Burnett's. Every day I'm waking up like, fuck like, for real though, fuck like. I know I'm gonna die if I don't down, but at least my death will be glorious. I'm losing my mind, I'm losing control, no way I end up victorious. VIC.2. I started writing when I was 6 years old. At first it wasn't music, it was just poetry and stories. But it was the only place I can go where I felt like I could be heard, and the only place I can go where I felt like I could be myself. My parents were trying their best to raise me with the knowledge they had, but they were young when they had me. I think my dad was 19 and my mom was 20. And by the time I was 6 years old, right before they divorced, they argued a lot, right? So there wasn't time to make me feel like I was heard. And as a kid, I didn't have the ability to communicate, hey, I'm scared right now, or I feel scared, I feel unheard, I feel invisible. The only place I could do that is in my poetry or in my stories, whatever you want to call that. I didn't share it with anybody at the time because back then I knew that saying what I felt would most likely make a lot of people uncomfortable. I remember finding out I was depressed, finding out about the kind of shit that I repressed. When I started drinking, it was coming to the surface. I didn't even know about it. I'm a blacked out mess. That was crazy. That's crazy. My thighs. I feel like I gotta get in bed to actually write the verse. When I started drinking, it was coming to the surface. I didn't even know about it. I'm a blacked out mess. Had to hear it for somebody, but they said it like a joke. Laugh at my pain. I'm killing myself, but at least it entertain. Why every time I'm waking up drunk, I gotta take another damn bottle to the brain. I'm drawing blanks. I'm not gonna lie to you. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go through like old pictures, like that, like give me that nostalgic feeling. Like stuff like this with most of my friends. Stuff like this for my boy Fernando's 21st birthday. Wow, it even shows the date, August 9th. 2016, that's crazy. October 8th, 2015, who would have guessed that like 9 years after this picture, I'd be 4 days away from getting married. And then I have one with me, my big sis, and my twin, so her other little. I wish I still had a relationship with both of them. That's how much like alcohol became like the thing I was obsessed with the most. I didn't realize I wasn't being present. Like, it was almost like alcohol was like a time machine. Fast forwarding life by getting so drunk, I'd wake up the next day and now I wasn't present in those moments. I wasn't like forming any relationships or any authentic memories. Like, I was just like on autopilot, which is like being blacked out. But like, that's like what I needed, you know? I ended up being right about my poetry getting me in trouble because in 6th grade, we were assigned this poetry project, and what we had to do is we picked a topic, something going on in the world at the time, and we were supposed to read it out loud in front of the entire class. And I don't know why, but I just picked the war in Iraq. Well, I do know why, because I think I saw it being talked about on South Park, if I'm not mistaken. But my opinion about it in my poem, I don't remember word for word what I said, but I essentially said, rich people started the war and poor people are going to die for it on both sides. While I was reading it, I could see out of the corner of my eye, she was like shaking her head, just mad, very, very mad. And right before I got to the end, she just stopped me abruptly. And in front of everybody, she essentially called me ignorant. Well, not essentially. She said, what an ignorant thing to say. And she said, I didn't appreciate the soldiers who die for our country. I don't appreciate the country. Then she said that her son was in the military. She made it clear in front of the entire class that I like disrespected her family, the country. And I said, I promise you I'm not disrespecting him. And she said something to the effect of, are you saying my son is stupid for fighting the war? And I said, no, I said war is stupid. And that's when she told me to go get my seat. That was the first time I realized saying something that I felt that was real to me can get me punished. But even after that, I kept writing. What I needed. No. You got what I need. No. We ain't broken up, we just on a break. You are everything I need, I can't escape. Pick a time, pick a place, picking me apart every time I get a taste. What I need, 24/7 for your body, I'm a fiend. Wait, hold on, that's fire, wow. Well, it should go. I got what you want, you got what I need. 24/7 for your body, I'm a fiend. I can't sleep when you're not by my side. Everybody, nah. I can't sleep when you're not by my side. Everybody knows that I am addicted. That sounds whack. I gotta be in love with this chick. I got what you want, you got what I need. 24/7 for your body, I'm a fiend. I can't sleep when you're not by my side. Everybody knows that I am in love with you. In love. Oh my God, that sounds terrible. It's not always magic, guys. Sometimes you gotta like work through this stuff. I got what you want, you got what I need. 24/7 for your body, I'm a fiend. I can't sleep when you're not by my side. Everybody knows that I am nothing without you. Nothing without you. Nothing without you. That was fire. Oh shit. I think I have something that I wrote before. Yeah. Alright, so I gotta show you guys this so you believe it. Look at that date. October 2nd, 2024. A song called Affection. Oh, wait, now the song's over. 1 second. You the only one I love who would always love me back. You the only one who didn't leave me lonely when my life was going bad. And my life been going bad for as long as I've been living. Only problem is when I'm with you, I don't know how to act. It's a fact, and the truth hurts more than I explain. I can't get you out of my brain. How can I leave when you take away the pain? When they find my body, you'll be in my veins. 2 songs out of 6. Finito. Done. The next year, my cousin had invited me over to his house because he wanted me to meet some of his friends. He was hyping me up to them like I was the funniest person he had ever met. And when I met them, they were unimpressed with any of the jokes that I had. This persona that I was used to putting up at the time. The jokes weren't hitting, the vibe was off. But for me, I didn't want to let my cousin down. So we went back to his house, and on a piece of toilet paper, I'm not kidding, not a piece, a whole roll of toilet paper, I wrote a parody of T-Pain's Buy You a Drink. And it was the whole process. I wrote the whole process in front of them, and they were like dying laughing. It was a very, very hilarious. I'm not going to tell you what the name of the song was, but I was like performing it for them while I was writing. We all hung out, and it was everything changed from that moment on. They were like quoting lines from the song as we were like walking down the street and all this stuff. It was great. But the lyrics were so provocative that it ended up getting me kicked out of one of their friends' houses. And they told that person, hey, if you kick him out, you're kicking all of us out. And that was crazy, right? That it was crazy to see that my words didn't just get me in trouble, but they were powerful. Like they could bring people together too.
Good morning. Good morning. Fuck. Back in my drinking days, you should just wake up and get right to it. I'm just gonna get right to it. Maybe I should have a whole like slice of cold pizza. I go hard to L-I-Q-U-I-D-D-R-U-O-O-K. L-I-Q-U-I-D-C-O-U-R-A-G-E. I just spelled liquid courage. Yeah. New titties, new ass, it's a whole new body. Can we put that body on me and let me test drive? About to get a DUI for my sex drive. Hey, wow, that's fire. That's both a crime and fire. Even on my birthday, ain't shit sweet. All my enemies are trying to be a makeshift me. Hey, even on my birthday, ain't shit sweet. All my enemies are trying to be a makeshift me. I go hard. I go hard. I go hard. I go hard to escape my lie. I know that is unhealthy. Party all day, just me and my. Hey, they don't gotta tell me. L-I-Q-U-I-D-C-O-U-R-A-G-E. That song is Liquid Courage. Just like the song Woke Up Drunk, the title was right in front of us the whole time. And we gotta save the other two songs for tonight.
I got my first mic when I was 14 years old. And I was making music behind the scenes. I wasn't releasing it. I wasn't putting it out there. But my friend Aaron, one day I had him and my friend Enrique over, and I was showing them my music because I felt like comfortable to show them that. And I remember Aaron at first was like bobbing his head, making the screw face and all that. But then like he stopped bobbing his head and he was just listening. And I took that as a bad sign at first. But then he's like, dude, this is like actually really deep. Like you're like the I remember he said you're like the Drake of Tracy, and that to me that was his way of saying that like I was very vulnerable on a track, and he encouraged me to release this music. At my school, it was a very small school. My graduating class was like 80 kids or something like that, but I started being known for making music, and around from 2011 to 2013 I was making music consistently. Nothing crazy, but it was enough again to get recognized at school. But not everybody was supportive. One person who I like really respected heard my music and they said, hey, you don't actually want to make music like for a living, right? You have to be the top 1% to even have a chance with that. They were like implying I couldn't do it. And that stuck with me. And not because it killed my confidence, but because I knew I didn't agree with this person. I believed in myself more than anybody else did, especially at that time in my life. I wasn't sure how far I would take it. I wasn't sure how far I would go, but I knew that no matter what, I had to try.
Next song that we have on the list is about the dark mindset around like loneliness. I'm not, but I do know this. Trying to figure out what I say to you. That was not a lie. Let me show you how to love somebody for a night. I don't know a lot, but I do know this. My shot, I better not. Okay. I don't know a lot, I do know this. If I shoot my shot, I better not miss. I was looking at you from afar, trying to make my way to you, trying to figure out what the fuck I say to you. Maybe I should tell you how fine I think you is. That's kind of fire. No, that's kind of fire. Hold on. Is anybody trying to wipe this? Cause I like this, even though I just met her. She just wanna party, but her friends won't let her. What? She just wanna party, but her friends won't let her. That doesn't make sense. Man, why would her friends not let her party? She just wanna fuck, but her friends won't. Nope, that sounds even worse. Why am I? Oh wait, no, that makes more sense. That what just you guys can't tell what just went on in my brain, but I know what just went on in my brain. And what went on in my brain is absolute connectivity, forming it all together. Even though I just met her, why am I attached? Even though I just met her, could it be the Henny running through my blood, or could it be the fact I ain't never know love? That is good. It took 30 minutes to come up with the first 8 bars of what I think is a 16. Maybe it's both at the same damn time, and it doesn't help, you are way too fine. I'm waiting over my head. Every day I wake up and wish I was dead. About to go to bed, I can barely even walk. Drunk worse over thoughts, I can barely even talk. I am not myself when I'm off the liquor. I don't want to drink anymore. It's now 2 in the morning. In this one verse, I put, every day I wake up and wish I was dead. I'm about to go to bed, I can barely even walk. Drunk words, sober thoughts, I can barely even talk. The smart thing to do. I think I should actually like go to bed. I know I said like I should stay up as late as possible to like emulate the feeling of being drunk, but I am so tired. Wake up as early as possible and see what I can get. So, I need the Powerade. I went to work today and I didn't have a drop of water all day. My thought process was, I'm gonna stay in the zone, I gotta get dehydrated because alcohol dehydrates you. And that was a big mistake, but I came back tired as shit. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not feeling inspired. I'm just not. We finished Woke Up Drunk, we finished Nothing Without You, and we finished Liquid Courage. Halfway there, that one song, I don't know if we're gonna call it Show You How or How to Love or Love for a Night, I don't know what we're gonna call that, but we finished that like halfway. We don't have a second verse. So I feel like if I'm gonna get into how deep and dark that mindset is, I gotta take it up a notch. But I don't think I'm gonna find that in Reno. I think I'm gonna find that in Vegas, because Vegas is where a lot of my like my darker times came from. I have a flight in the morning, flying out to Vegas, and I'm gonna just see what we come up with in Vegas.
I did not want to go to college. To be 100% honest with you, I never liked school. I was not good at school. So when I graduated high school, my plan was to stay home, build music, or build an audience, make music, and find a way to make it in the industry. But that's not what ended up happening. I go to Fresno State. I thought I was going for free. I wasn't. And I started fall 2013. And it was a tough semester because I felt lost. I felt like I didn't fit in anywhere. But every time I would get home from class, I would throw on some beats and I would write whatever came to my mind. But typically it was the things that were like giving me clarity. So I ended up making a remix to Jagged Edge's Let's Get Married remix. But instead of making it light and fun, I made it very personal. I started name dropping people I felt had hurt me. And the reason I did it is because I heard these people were talking shit about me behind the scenes. They were flipping stories. They were twisting things behind my back. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to bite my tongue. And this is the way I felt heard. So I didn't hold anything back. And I wasn't trying to go viral. I was just getting things off of my chest. But it got back to those people very fast. And I got in trouble again. You know, I got a lot of backlash from that, even from people who were around me and cared about me. People started avoiding me. Some people started making threats, but you know, I stood on it because I meant every single word. And that would be the pattern that I get myself into a lot, even to this day.
Good afternoon, Las Vegas. It's April 16th today. I am at the MGM Grand and we are going to finish writing an album while we are out here. This is going to be the dark one. We have 2.5 songs left. One about like rejection of some sort, or like showing some kind of love. We already have that half written. And then we have 2 more. One's about a blacked out mindset, and then one's about
suicidal ideation. Some of the darkest times of my life happened while I was out in Vegas. Before I even hit 21, we used to have these things called formals. You would invite a date out to Vegas or wherever we were having, and we typically had them in Vegas every spring. Every single time I did something to push my date away, right? Like I either got too drunk or I just wasn't the person they were actually there for. They were there for someone else and they just kind of like used me. But regardless, like we are where we are for a reason. But in order for me to finish writing this album, I have to put myself in that mindset. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm pretty fucking happy. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do this. I'll figure it out. I think the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hit the strip. I'm gonna try to get as much of the feeling as possible. Right now it's 3:08. Get myself as lonely as possible and head back to the room and just knock it out.
By the time fall 2014 rolled around, I had dropped 2 big projects. One was called Only Came to Party, which was a party mixtape, and one was called Nights Like These, which was very introspective. I was proud of them. They were personal to me. I was very vulnerable. I tried to be layered. I tried to tell a story. But when I looked at the numbers of what songs were performing well, what stood out wasn't the lyrics or stories I poured my heart into. It was the remixes. People played those songs over and over again. And that messed with me more than I admitted at the time. I didn't want to abandon originality. I just wanted to be heard. And I felt like the only way was to keep making remixes of songs. I told myself that it was temporary, that I'd get back to the real stuff once I built a fan base, but that fan base would never come my way the way that I thought it would, because the more I shifted myself to please other people, the further I got from the reason I started making music to begin with.
I feel ridiculous. I don't know if I look ridiculous, but I feel ridiculous. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pour Dr. Pepper into this. I'm gonna smell this. Once I feel like I have hit the mindset of who I used to be, I will begin writing something that you might know or you will know as a goodbye note, but it's not real. It's not real. It's just to put me into that mindset. Let me put this where you guys can see me. Dr. Pepper. I am not drinking this. I'm not drinking this. That is so fucking strong. Adios, motherfucker. Well, that's good. Adios, motherfucker. Don't wake me up. Hey, don't wake me up. Wow, that was fucking awful. Why'd I open this one? I had another one open. What did I do? I'm not just a regular artist. Maybe I should be. Maybe I should be, because this might come across as doing too much. But it's working. Yeah. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4. What they tell me when I take one more. Adios, motherfucker. Adios, motherfucker. Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8. It won't hit me till it's way too late. Adios, motherfucker. Adios, motherfucker. And pun intended, hit no shot, I'm gonna remember this. Every time I take a shot, I never miss. Walking around the party like a zombie. How I'm gonna reminisce about the good times when the memory's a big blur. Don't wake me up, don't wake me up. I feel like it's too repetitive. And I pray nobody knows what it feels like to wake up confused. Whole world silent when you walk into a room. And then wake up confused. Everybody silent when you walk into a room. Don't wake me, don't wake me, don't wake me up. Cause I am doomed to go. I'm doomed to go. I'm doomed to go dumb forever. This Dr. Pepper's kind of fucking up my stomach. You know, the worst part about the drinking days was this right here. Like, I could be in a room full of people, but it's just me by myself. And it sounds very generic. It sounds kind of corny to say that. But what I mean by that is, like, this little thing right here had so much power over me. This little fucking thing right here I gave into, and is the reason why I will never talk to so many fucking people in my life. But that's not true. It's this big thing right here, my brain. This is just a mechanism, a tool that people use to have fun, to escape whatever the fucking case is. But I let this be my excuse. I let this be my reason. Oh, this is why people don't talk to me. This is why. No. I'm the reason, right? And if those people don't want to see me for who I genuinely am at this age of 30, like being a 30-year-old man, like I can say honestly, fuck them, respectfully, because I don't hate anybody, but like this wasn't me. I have to own it, because at the end of the day, I did whatever I did and I said whatever I said. But you guys have no idea how fucking bad it hurts me. How bad it hurts me that I made anybody feel bad. And that's why on July 6th of 2018, I try to do what I try to do, not only because of how I made people feel, not only because of how lonely I felt, but because at the end of the day, like, I had nowhere to go. I had the hardest thing I ever had to face was that the person in the mirror. Soberly, I had to look at myself and say, what the fuck happened to you? I had to look at myself and say, you let yourself go. It was you. It wasn't anybody else. It wasn't your dad. It wasn't your mom. It wasn't your grandparents. It wasn't your other grandparents. It wasn't anybody. It was you. Not to say I blame those people, but like, I put so much stock into what everyone was doing to me, what everyone was saying about me. And at the end of the day, it just seemed like I wanted to be a victim. In order for you to understand what I am today, you have to see, you have to hear, you have to feel what I was.
It's hard. Dang. It's actually kind of hard to talk about it, because I hate thinking about it, honestly. Just those nights where Marco would threaten to kill himself. I hate thinking about that, honestly. Because it was just so sad to see, and so sad to think about, that that's what he thought about himself, and that's what he thought was going to be the solution to his problem. Whether he meant it or not, the fact that that was crossing his mind at all, it's just hard to think about, and it still kind of hurts.
All right, that's that song. Let's finish this one. Never been accepted, been rejected. You don't need no man with intention. I'm the only child, bastard. You don't want when it all comes after. Honey, how I feel is a skill that I mastered. I gotta start that over. Never been accepted, always been rejected. Why do I feel like I'm owed your attention? Could it be the trauma that I don't want to mention? I think we got it. Never been accepted, bad with rejection. Why do I feel like I'm owed your attention? Could it be the trauma that I don't want to mention? Fill my cup and spill my confession. I'm the only child, technically a bastard. Never first place, the place that comes after. Honey, how I feel is a skill that I mastered. Only way I get to feel heard is laughter. I don't know a lot, but I do know this. If I shoot my shot, I better not miss.
By 2015, I really wasn't releasing music at all. I started drinking a lot more, and that became my therapy as opposed to music. Music was always my outlet, but now it felt like nobody cared unless I drank. So why even write? I felt heard every time I was drunk and doing something stupid. Why make music at all? The few songs that I did drop 2015 gained some attention for me, but not in the way that I was looking to get attention, right? The people closest to me, people who I should have been the most excited to share my music with, they were making fun of me the whole time. Like, they were calling my shit trash. They were laughing at the lyrics, brushing me off. But, you know, as much as I try to play it off like it didn't bother me, of course, I felt crushed on the inside. I started questioning everything. Like, am I really bad? Am I the only one who thinks this is good? Or, like, are they just not listening? Or are they intentionally just fucking with me? But the pain that I felt, like, it didn't stop me. I just hid the way I made music, and I would drink over it. And I told myself for a little bit that I was done making music and sharing it with these people, but I knew deep down I was just scared that no one was going to take me seriously again.
Finally, we're down to the last song, which is the blacked out mindset. So we're gonna do this again. This is genuinely hurting my head. Okay, you guys gotta see this. Okay, so we have the beat right here. Okay, I want you guys to be able to see the shot in frame so you guys know I'm not drinking it. Okay, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna play this game that we used to play all the time. I call it Smoke or Fire, or we called it Smoke or Fire. And that game would genuinely get me blacked out drunk sometimes. We never really played it with hard liquor, but here we are. Obviously, I'm not playing with hard liquor. I'm smelling it before taking the shot. So here's how the game works, okay? Well, I expose the first card. There are 4 rounds. It's Smoke or Fire, which is red or black. If you guess any of them wrong, you owe the amount of drinks per that round. So if it's round 1, that's 1 drink. If it's round 2, that's 2 drinks, so on and so forth. First round is red or black. Then second round is higher or lower. We're just going to establish aces are the highest card. If it's the same exact card, you owe double. So if I say higher or lower and it's right in the middle, then I owe 4 drinks instead of 2. So it's red or black, higher or lower, then in between or outside those first 2 cards, and then the last one is you have to guess the suit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the beat, and I'm going to play Smoke or Fire with myself. So we already know that this one is black. Let's go. This has to be the blackout mindset one. Okay. I'm going to say red. Okay. It's obviously not red. Okay, terrible. All right, red. All right, it's ace. So I'm going to go, wait, did I even shuffle? I don't think I shuffled. No, I didn't. Whoops. Okay, I do not know how to shuffle. You would think all the years I spent drinking, I would learn how to shuffle. Okay, lower than ace. It's 9. So I'm good there. Okay. Now, lower than in between or outside ace. So it's either in between ace and 9. I'm going to say, all right, fuck, I kind of saw the one. I'm going to say outside. Outside. Fuck me, that's in between. So that's 3 drinks. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4. Now I gotta start all the way over. Okay. Black. There we go. So higher or lower than queen. I'm going to say lower. Holy fuck, it's a king. That's 2 drinks. Smell it. At least I'm getting used to the smell, but holy shit, that's still shitty. Can somebody save my life? Oh my God. Hey, can somebody save my life? My day's not looking too, I'm blackout drunk right now. And I've always been afraid of the dark. I found hope in the neon lights. Everybody at the party wanna have a good time. Drink a little something, let loose some wine. I'll be 2-stepping my way through the crowd like I'm looking for somebody I ain't never gonna find. I'm yearning. That's a good start. I feel like that should be part of the first verse. I'm yearning, I don't learn from my past. Soul's on empty, I fill my glass. You walk past with all that ass. Baby, just give me one chance. Yeah, so drunk that I lost my sight. Can somebody save my life? Okay, red, there we go. It's an 8, okay. Lower than 8, oh my God, that was a 7? Outside, bro. Oh, 6. I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna drink the rest of this.
2016 would be the year that I gave in musically. I dropped my Frat House remix, and it was a remix to Flo Rida's My House. And I heard that song everywhere I went in our Greek system. It was the biggest release I had ever had, almost to this day. People were playing it at parties. They had no idea it was even me. Every time I walked into the party, I'm like, dude, this is my song playing right now. It was the first time that it ever happened to me. And I felt heard. I didn't even care that people didn't know it was me. I just genuinely felt, man, like I'm being heard. So I kept making music like that. Deep down though, I knew it wasn't really me that they were hearing. That like these songs weren't deep, they weren't personal, it wasn't emotional. It was just fun. And it's cool to make fun, or make fun music, but as proud as I was of myself for making it, it felt like I traded authenticity for approval, and that bugged the fuck out of me. But the worst part of it all was it was working. So I started thinking this was the only version of me that people wanted to listen to. So I gave in, and I started making music like that, even though it was killing me a little bit on the inside.
I just want love, even if it's just for a night. That pussy might save my life. It sounds silly, but I'm really going dumb. I just want to feel something, cause I'm way too numb. I'm gone. Fire, higher. Wait, you might be saying, dude, no, real alcoholic would do this. Well, guess what? I'm a real alcoholic and I'm fucking doing it. I get so in my head about like, am I sending the right message? Is anyone gonna get this? Is anybody gonna understand this? I really do. Like, I really do think about that. Like, I'm not trying to come across as like disingenuous. Like, this is really what I have to do. Like, this is the extreme version of method writing, but like, typically it might look like I'm playing a video game all the time or like whatever the case may be, but like this is what I'm doing for this part. I'll be in my head like nobody gets you, don't nobody care about your issues, and you wonder why nobody wanna hit you. If you die, ain't nobody gonna miss you. Why nobody wanna pause, bro? Why nobody wanna hit you? I feel like that's a good thing. Why no one wants to hit me? All right, you don't nobody care about your issues, and you wonder why nobody wanna pick you. If you die, ain't nobody. There we go. There we go. Go and take another shot till the job's done. Go and take another shot till the job's done. Champagne for the pain, going pop, son. Go and take another shot till the job's done. Champagne for the pain, going pop, son. Till you get so drunk you reveal pent-up trauma from hiding how you feel. Do not try this at home. I'm doing this so I can write an album. That's real, but way too deep for this function. Trying to do my damn, but I just can't function. Got so drunk I lost all control. Got so drunk I lost all control. Told a bad bitch what weighs on my soul. I'm gone. And I just finished writing the fucking album. I just finished writing this. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do, because now I don't need to do this anymore. I am going to pour this fucking drink down the drain as celebration for finishing the album. Let's turn the lights on, huh? Turn on the lights. I'm looking for. Turn on the lights. I probably didn't do that song justice. Okay, so that's this fucking thing right here. You have no control over me. I do this. I want to show all the alcoholics this thing has no power. I smelt this. I don't even know however many times, but we're done. We're done. It's gone. It's all gone. It's done. I washed it because I don't want anything left. It's done. This thing has no power over me. That was dramatic. I'm sorry if you guys heard that, neighbors. We just finished writing the album. We did it. We wrote an album. We finished it. We finished Did I Go Dumb again, or at least writing it. We didn't record it. So I'm going to finish recording it. I'm so proud of what we were able to accomplish. It was very therapeutic, and I'm glad that I was able to do this. I really hope that like this album has a positive effect. Not even like the album, like the music by itself, but just like the overall message, the overall themes. I hope that I'm able to speak to people who are going through what I went through, and they're able to stop before it gets too late, before things get out of control. I'm really rooting for those people. Yeah, let's go into recording the album.
Everything started to shift in my life. I met somebody, a woman who later would become my wife. And honestly, I knew I was going to marry her, or that I wanted to marry her by my second date. We met back in November 2020, and at that point, I was just starting to give love another shot. I wrote off dating, love, relationships back in 2019, and the more I disappeared into this character of Barlow, the more loveless I felt. I hated myself in ways that I didn't even realize, especially during my drinking days. And selfishly, I was looking for someone to love me enough to make that hate go away. I didn't know how to talk to people without insulting myself. That was the hardest part of sobriety, realizing I never learned how to be a functioning social adult without turning myself into the punchline. But the more I failed, the more I felt like being alone was my destiny, until I met Stephanie, my wife. She made me feel like I wasn't alone. She made me feel like I was seen, really seen for the first time in my life. She didn't always understand me, but she tried. And that effort meant more to me than I even have the ability to explain. I used to drink like I was trying to write myself into someone else's story. One where I wasn't invisible. One where the punchline wasn't me. But the thing about pain is, if you never slow down enough to feel the pain, you start living just to outrun it. That's what I was doing. Drinking through heartbreak, rejection, embarrassment, hoping if I laughed loud enough or drank deep enough, I could skip the part where I felt unworthy. Like the movie Click. one button, skip through the scene. But sobriety didn't just make me stop running, it made me sit with the silence. And in that silence, somebody found me. Not a performance, not a character, me. In 2021, I learned that real connection isn't earned through spectacle, it's built through presence. I don't have to audition to be loved. I just have to show up. I have to show up authentically. And now I do, fully and finally, as myself.